Growing up together, they shared the same necklaces and the same dream. Long before the red carpets, the Oscars, or blockbuster paychecks, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck were just two kids from Cambridge, Massachusetts, chasing the unlikely goal of making it in Hollywood.
It's cool? Yeah, cool. Fucking damn right it's cool. How you like me now?
Their passion and commitment paid off early. The movie they co-wrote and starred in together won big.
And the Oscar goes to Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. Yeah.
The film won them both Oscars for Good Will Hunting and turned two struggling actors into stars.
I just said to Matt, losing would suck and winning would be really scary, and it's really, really scary.
Damon got a new identity.
That's Jason Bourne.
And Affleck got a big bounce.
It's not brave if you're not scared.
Over the decades, Affleck and Damon have gone on to build powerhouse careers, directing, producing, and starring in some of the biggest films of their generation. And through it all, they've stayed close, still collaborating, as they made names for themselves individually.
Are we saying there's a chance that when we push that button, we destroy the world?
Rusty, something went wrong. Don't worry about me.
Ben also discovered his love behind the camera, directing, winning an Oscar for Best Picture for the film Argo.
I was here 15 years ago or something, and, I had no idea what I was doing. I stood out here in front of you all, really just a kid, and I went out, and I never thought that I would be back here, and I am.
From Boston kids with big dreams to global movie stars, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon are still writing their story together. In 2022, they joined forces to create their own production company, Artists Equity. Both co-star in their new crime thriller, The Rip, on Netflix.
All I know is what we do right now and who we talk to matters.
And they're disrupting the industry to make sure their team is taken care of.
What would you do with this? Just this. Everything.
Our special All Access with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck starts right now. Thank you guys so much for the conversation. If I had to summarize The Rip, I think I would say it's about long-time relationships and really determining who you can trust. I think there are some fair parallels here to your own life. Many people have said you all are Hollywood's most enduring bromance. What do you think it is about the two of you that makes that bond really stay intact?
I don't know. What do you think it is about the world that people find a friendship so bizarre and strange? Like, feels right. I mean, you need a lot of friends, but you need good friends in life. I'm sure we all have them. I think what's unusual about it is obviously that, in the same business and who are successful at the same time and have been around doing it for a long time. That is unusual. We got really lucky, I think, Matt, moved to a couple of blocks away from me. And so I think we have a pretty good partnership. I sort of took it for granted early on. Like, yeah, it was great and we get along great. And then in like many, many years of also, working with lots of other people, many of them very, very gifted, but still, like to have a good partnership with somebody is a rare thing.
I think we also fed off each other a lot. Like, we both had this kind of crazy dream. We were both pretty obsessed by it and saw that in each other. And that was kind of undergirded it was foundational to the friendship, right? It was not just that we, made each other laugh and had, and we're friends the way everyone, but we had this other thing and a real drive, like an ambition, in a healthy sense, I think, to do it. And went, like, I remember talking probably 10 years ago going, God, it is kind of weird that we, when suddenly you have a kid who's 14 or 16 and you go like, that's how old we were when we were like going to New York by ourselves. Like,
times were kind of different then too. That, there's a lot of stuff you hear about people going, gosh, when we were kids, we were allowed to do, yeah. But we did, and we went off, did that stuff together and formed that because we had that shared goal. Also, funny you said like make each other laugh. I do think humor is really undervalued. Like that person that makes you laugh or that gets your jokes or you have a common, I don't know, framework or context against which to see the world is really valuable. Even when you're laughing at something painful, that's It's very lucky. I feel like humor in a way is the sort of a kind of the highest form of intelligence somehow.
I've heard that said actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Was the person smart who said it?
And it wasn't you. It was actually someone.
I think that part of what the intrigue is around the friendship is that it started out when you guys are 8 and 10 years old, right? And often friends come and go, but this has remained, and you all are still working together and business partners. But it all goes back to, I've heard both of you comment separately about the drama high school class that you both were in with the teacher, Jerry. And he says, focus on the work, not the outcome. How pivotal do you think that class was to you sitting here today?
I still hear his voice, and those lessons were absolutely, I mean, crucial in and something to hold on to. Just by the way, like, he was a great theater teacher. He was also an English teacher. He was but there were kids who went through that program who didn't become actors or didn't. But wherever you were going in your, the things that he was teaching were so powerful and helpful in life in general. Like, he was just a phenomenal teacher.
It sounds platitudinous, but it really is, because we lived it, an example of how meaningful that figure like that can be at that stage of life, like a teachers, coaches, mentors in that period of adolescence and development, when you're really forming your identity, and more importantly, you're acculturating yourself to, like, what's expected of me, what's right and what's wrong, like those lessons, and how should I approach work, and how should I deal with other people. And we really are lucky to benefit from somewhere. Yeah, it wasn't about, I mean, he's a good acting teacher and all that stuff, but so much of what I learned there that has served me really well does have to do with things like, how do you treat people, and fairness and respect.
It's right as you're learning that the world isn't fair. It's right as you're learning that, your consciousness has come online, but you're starting to really kind of interact with the real world. And so having those things to hold on to as you're kind of grappling with the world where it meets you was incredible. And we had, look, going into this profession, we knew it was going to be hard, and it was really, we had a lot of years. They don't feel, in retrospect, you go like, wow, that was kind of a rough patch. But like, at the time, we were very enthusiastic. We felt kind of armed, emotionally, to kind of handle whatever.
You mentioned that you're older now. When you think about the fame, which you really did get at an early age. I mean, you're 25, you're 27 in 1998 when Good Will Hunting gets Best Original Screenplay, and you get Academy Award.
I was 24. I turned 25 not later that summer, yeah.
So even younger.
Yeah, nice.
And you get arguably the most coveted award in Hollywood at such a young age. What do you wish that you knew back then?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I wish that I were able to contextualize it a little bit more. It's a very hard thing to grapple with. It's like, it really is an award that's, as much built around rewarding a life of work as it is around single performances. There are plenty of instances where people will point to and say, well, so-and-so got this for this movie. It may not have been their greatest movie, but it was an acknowledgement of, of a lifetime or a career. And so it's a little bit weird to be awarded that when you're starting out, for one thing. And it's, well, I don't know, and it brought a lot of attention because we were in the same Oscar show as the Titanic was, which drew everyone into that. And I remember we saw Alec Baldwin coming off the stage.
Yeah,
remember that?
I remember.
He was like, remember this.
Yeah. No, he was like, don't. He was basically like, this up.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
But it's impossible because you're still young, right? Like, you're still at that age, can't really grapple with, like, what do lasting consequences mean? What does it mean to have something that stays with you your whole life, good or bad, Because the blessing and the curse of youth is that you kind of, maybe you're invulnerable, and you can try, and it allows us to move from Boston to Los Angeles where you don't know anybody, and you think, oh yeah, I can do this. And you need to sort of leave the nest to have some of that. But it also prevents you from, because it sort of inures you from thinking about some of the more serious consequences of failure, et cetera. It's just a hard thing to contextualize and have perspective on at the time.
Artists Equity, you all come together and found this production company together, 2022. Who came up with the idea?
It's something we've always wanted to do and talked about doing together. And and then shaped to how would it work. And it should be said that Lucy, Matt's wife, is also a partner in the company and an excellent producer, and produces my movies as a director and as a producer on this movie, The Rip. And it's a sort of a work in progress, but it's an effort to try to, with the understanding that ultimately you've got to make the movies good in order to be successful, and a hope that there's a place in the business for an entity that's constructed to sort of be more than a production company, a kind of a mini studio, and do all the facets of production that are necessary to making a movie, and focus both the authorial power as well as the responsibility and the accountability on the sort of artists on whose backs and names and stuff these productions are being made, and in the hope that a more collaborative effort and more artist friendly effort, an effort where the proceeds are shared in a way that's more fair all throughout the crew and the cast, will lead to a business success.
Yeah, why was it important to you? I mean, there have been a lot of headlines actually about in this particular production of The Rip, if the movie does well, then all 1,200 people who worked on the movie actually get a bonus. Normally, you do the movie, you get paid what you get paid regardless of its success.
Yeah, well, in the old theatrical model, there were bonus structures built in, and kind of some potentially profit sharing or a bonus model for people, what they call above the line, which are like the actors, the director, the producers, and so forth. But it was important to us that was kind of reflected below the line as well. And our contention is just that if you make something that has value and they can measure this based on how many minutes people are watching. If it has real value in this new streaming model for their platform, then it's great. We've partnered and we've made this great success, but that success should be felt and shared by everybody who made the movie. His movie, The Town, which, it got relicensed for a lot of money a few years ago. And it means it's gone through its one kind of life right after the theatrical run. He doesn't get anything for that. And but it's kind of like, well, shouldn't the people who are responsible for making something, the labor involved with making something, be a part of the
And we're not
success.
The only Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan, did something I think very meaningful with Sinners, which was to kind of bet on themselves and also asked to retain what Matt's talking about, the long-term license rights. And that was controversial only in the sense that it was unprecedented, but it was extremely smart, and I hope sets a kind of a precedent. What we're trying to do in that, as Matt said, is also apply that across the entire company of the movie, where right as it existed historically, it's like, yeah, the people who are the carpenters or the standby painters or the greens people or props or script supervisor or cameraman, they want to do something good theoretically for their professional pride, but their salary has no relationship to that. And my view and Matt's view, having seen it and lived it, is that if everyone is aligned incentive-wise, it just makes for a better process.
Well, when we did Air, we were like probably halfway or 3/4 of the way through, and Ben was directing it, and he came up to me and goes, "Man, I haven't heard the word no yet." And suddenly when you get everybody kind of rowing in the same direction, it's like, do you think we could do it? Yep, we got it. And it's a really wonderful feeling on set, and and an excitement there. And it's all about trying to get the best possible movie.
It's not altruistic. It's not philanthropic. This is because this business is changing. And, we had a really costly, painful work stoppage that, a lot of people suffered through, and there was a big impact throughout the economy. And you're seeing, production is down about 25% since then. A lot of it has left areas like, LA historically associated with that industry. It's a very meaningful, the United States' biggest export is our entertainment business. It means something to the larger economy. And so as streaming becomes a thing that is more valued, as the model changes, well, that's part of what the strike was about, is how is compensation going to change? And how is it going to be fair? And what we would like to do in our small way is to try to lay out a template, which, and admittedly, it has to be successful, right? If the movie sees the movie and nobody cares, nobody gets paid, and it's another hollow promise. So, but okay, we're going to bet on trying to be successful. That then in the future, this is one that we hope will be adopted by others that we'll be able to use, because it's very difficult to make the argument to people who understandably are going to invest a lot of money and expect to see return on that.
This is your third movie in the last 5 years together. I understand you didn't have to go to the gym at all for these roles. What was it about the rip that you both said, yeah, we're in, let's do this?
Well, we got the script from Joe Carnahan, who we've known for 20 plus years, and we just bought it as a company because we were gonna cast it, and then just in conversations with Joe, we said, well, who would you like to be in it? And he said, well, you guys. And then we kind of had a real conversation about that, and we looked at it and we thought, well, this is actually going to be, we love the story, we love the the way the script is constructed, and like you say, it's about who do you trust, and so it's a bit of a thriller, it's a bit of a whodunit, and it's a very fast moving, entertaining.
Mike PD. On the inside, it's different.
We had a Crime Stopper tip come in on this address.
Like old school crime thriller, which is a genre we really like. And Joe really knows these people. And I thought there's something beautiful about a story built around a group of people who are just trying to do an honest day's work, right? Like, and these are officers in this department where, there are some officers that are dirty, that make them look bad. And they're confronted with the temptation of like, what do you do when you find $20 million? Yeah. And that could change your life and pay your child support and do all these things that you work really hard to do. And to also valorize the integrity and just showing up and doing your job the way you said you were going to do it, and kind of celebrating and admiring that in a way that's not false, and also allows the actors to have really interesting, meaty things to do in a very old school contained drama. That's why we had Teyana Taylor. That's why we could get Stephen Yeun. That's why we get Kyle Chandler. It's like, so the chance to work with all these actors, like that combined proposition was pretty appealing.
Coming up, we ask the decades-old friends about tackling life's challenges together. What would you say that you learned about Matt in the midst of your difficult times? You've said before that fame is fleeting. You've talked about knowing who your friends are in the difficult times. What would you say that you learned about Matt in the midst of your difficult times?
Oh, I mean, Matt's this is why we're sitting here. He's like a real friend and a wonderful, lovely guy. I don't want to embarrass the guy, but it didn't surprise me. What really surprised me if all of a sudden Matt was like, things aren't going well for you, see you later. So although there are people who that wouldn't surprise me about, but yes, that's how we form strong friendships, right? Like,
this is just too much.
We know when it's like somebody else, there's no advantage to them, and they give up their time, and they, you don't need to have a lot. You can't have 2,000 friends. That's an illusion, right? That gets fostered in a way by social media. But you do need friends. We need to have human contact and physical presence of friends and people who will stand by us, and it makes us better people, and it makes us want to stand by them. Matt's a spectacular. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better friend.
Matt, I understand we're working on The Odyssey, had to lose an extreme amount of weight, commit to gluten-free diet, get back down to your high school weight. Tell us about the project and the process.
You couldn't grow that beard in high school.
I could not. That took me a long time. No, it was incredible. It was I don't even know what to say about it. It was a life experience. It was such an ambitious undertaking. The way Chris wanted to do it, the way he wanted to shoot it, it's 100% on IMAX and in these locations that really were challenging, and it required. I've never done a movie like that.
No one could stand between my bed and home.
Where it just required absolutely everything that everybody had. Like, no department got off easy. It was just everybody completely maxing out. And I said to him when I got back, I was like, every location on this movie would have been the hardest location I've ever worked on any other movie. And any day of shooting would have been the hardest day on any other movie that I've ever done. So that feeling and knowing that the only way you could pull it off is with absolutely everybody kind of fully committing and being there. And, we'd make a day and we'd just look at each other like, wow, we did it. See you tomorrow. And it should be said, I remember the first AD saying to me, maybe halfway through the movie, we were sitting there watching the grips do something incredible, build something on the middle of a mountain or whatever we were doing. And he goes, it's funny that every single person here could be on an easier movie working for more money. And everyone was choosing to be there. Like I think just about all of that.
I've never been jealous of Matt ever once. I've just thought but I was a little jealous of it. Like at this part, I was like,
it's a great role. It was a great, and I just felt like I almost felt nostalgic while I was making it because the business is changing so much, and this felt like we were making a David Lean movie, and the idea that I got to do one of those in my life, and I got that role with that director and those people.
It's nice to get that gift and know and appreciate.
Yeah. Yes,
I'm glad it came to me at the point in my life when it did, because I really I had just deep gratitude every day, and which was good because it was very challenging. So, because we were, everyone was uncomfortable. Most of we were probably wet and cold and all that stuff. But it was like, wow, we're really, we get to be the ones who do this.
And you were at that point, you were going to be acting in the movie that you're directing, Animals.
Yes.
Now, I know he dropped out of my movie and his wife's.
He recast it with an inferior lead.
It's much better now. I don't want to, but yes, we did.
And my wife produced it.
Yeah, exactly.
So how do you all decide when you see a role like that's Matt, that's Ben?
Well, in the case of Animals, it was just a change. Ben was like, "I want to direct this."
Yeah, I want him in it,
and I'm like, "Well, great, I'll do that." So it was
also like the Odyssey came along, and I didn't even. It wasn't like, "Hey, is it okay?" It was like, "Yeah." I'd be going to do the movie too if it was me,
I didn't even think about Animals. I just called him up. I was like, I got the part.
I was throwing I knew this is I think really something he's been waiting for a long time. It meant a lot to him. So really nice to see that happen for him. And then it took a minute for me to go, I'm going to recap. I really felt spoiled by having Matt in Air. I thought, man, this makes this job great. You have an actor like this who's so good and also is setting this tone and is so experienced. Like Air felt so light and easy because Matt was doing so much of that work that you're trying to foster as a director. So part of it was just, I got to go now. Who else is gonna to do this? And then I ended up.
I know a guy.
Yeah, I do know a guy. It's not cheap, but he's.
Road not taken for either of you.
It would have taken a long time to get us off this hand. It would have been
a good one.
We were very committed to doing it. We were expecting it to be difficult. We were expecting not to have money. And we always said, as long as we don't have kids, the other people that we're responsible for, we can keep going. And it would have taken a long time to move us off.
I would have really moved, writing, directing, and, there's a lot to
something
do
within the business.
So Road Not Taken might be, doing theater somewhere regionally. It might be making independent films or being a cinematographer or something. But for me, I would have liked to have done the things that I feel grateful that I did get the chance to do in my life. I think I probably would have, we would have been hovering around this in one way or another.
Guys, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank
Thanks
you.
a lot.
Thank you.